Well, here it is, Monday morning. I'm about to take Rosie's aeroplane up for a small test flight. They're all test flights, I guess, for that first 20 hours. We've really only got maybe one of the 20 hours so far, but we're getting there, and I want to try and get as many done as I can before the winter hits us. Just simply too cold. It's simple as that. We're not going to have snow and all that sort of bad weather and stuff. We will have some, but we certainly won't have snow. Matter of fact, I think it might have snowed in Temora once, like 150 years ago, but not since. The day looks pretty reasonable. A bit of a breeze blowing, a bit cool, a little bit of fluffy cloud out there. So we'll go and have a bit of investigation of those. I'm not going to go too far away from the field. I'll probably stay, I'll stay virtually within gliding distance of the field. I've got no desire to do an outlanding until I've got 100% confidence in the aeroplane. Any new aeroplane, you start going away from the field, then you're a crazy person. But anyway, that's what I'm up to. There won't be any, I'll try and get some video, but there won't be any audio. I just simply can't record in Rosie's aeroplane. I'm not very good at it in one of my aeroplanes, but I'm certainly not good at it in Rosie's aeroplane. I'm not even going to try and do it. So bear with me, and I've never done voiceover stuff, but maybe I'll describe what I'm doing, or maybe it'll be obvious what I'm doing. Okay, enjoy yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Well, that was quite a successful run. A bit cool. I didn't have my gloves on, and I don't know what temperature it was, but it was getting pretty cool around 5,000 feet. So anyhow, the only little glitch I had at all was that the throttle kept wanting to vibrate open. That's the fail-safe mechanism on the Rotec 912s. The spring on the carburetor actually pulls the throttle open. So if you have a broken throttle cable, you'll have full throttle. The friction on this is the throttle right here. The friction on this is this pivot bolt. It's just a normal bolt with a split pin hole and a castellated nut. I just took it up one more castellation tighter. Of course, I couldn't get the split pin back in the hole, so I put a piece of heavy duty lock wire, 41 thou lock wire, in lieu of the split pin. So that'll be all right. Now, if that's the only criticism you have, then you got to be doing something right. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way the aeroplane went. The day is improving, of course. I could have waited for an hour or so, and it would have been a much better proposition. I'll see what I can do about putting together what I videoed. I only videoed a couple of minutes of the flight. So if any of that looks halfway as decent, then I'll try and cut it in, and maybe, I don't know, there's not much to voice over. Maybe I'll put some music to it or something like that. But anyway, there you go. That's where we are today. Well, this is what I've been working on today. It's not gonna. This is not the end result. It's not going to finally look like this, but I've got a couple of 2-inch flanges, which will fit a 2-inch gat tube, which will run back to the vicinity of the carburetor. These will be cut out. This mesh piece is the device that you put over the frying pan when you're frying so the grease doesn't splatter. Was just the cheapest way I could find of buying a piece of stainless steel mesh. This cost me $5 for this round thing, and I'm about to get my snips out and cut this off around here and around here, and then these will be attached to the upper cowl. It'll all become obvious when you sort of see it. This grey bit on here is just the protective plastic covering the stainless steel. Yeah, these are aluminium flanges on this side, stainless steel washer basically on that side, just to sandwich the mesh so it doesn't fall to pieces. It may work, may not. Let's see how we go. All right, I've separated these from the mesh. There it is there with holes cut in it. If you can probably not see it very well, but there they are. Those smudges are actually holes. So now I'm going to try and trim them up, just with my trimming shears. I don't know how it's going to go, but we'll see. Well, I'll go and sit in the sun and have a play. Well, that worked out pretty good. I've got all these little spiky bits sticking out around the edge, but here's the other one, and I've already hammered those little spiky things down. So this flange bit will go on the inside of the cowl. This washer bit will go on the outside of the cowl, and there's some nice screws that'll hold the two together. I think that's fabulous. I'll go ahead and beat the daylights out of this one and be ready to fit both. Well, here's the top cowl sitting back on. These are going to be installed, one here somewhere in the cowl itself, probably about there. Yeah, probably about there. And the other one installed over there in about the same location. So I can take the cowl off now, or I can measure up where I want these, take the cowl off and cut the hole. It's going to look in keeping with the rest of it anyway. And when I take this plastic cover off, this will be nice and shiny stainless steel, so it'll look a bit like the heat shield here. Yeah, this heat shield is a bit thinner, but probably similar material. And that polishes up quite well. It'll be mirror finish, and so will this one. So it'll look pretty good. Let's play on. All right, well, we're just about done. These have been installed. The 2-inch flanges have been moved to the inside. There they are, if you can see them there, right here. This plastic covering can come off now. Look at that, they're beautiful, very shiny stainless steel. Should be similar to that, and they can be polished up. Yeah, the only thing that needs to be taken into consideration now are these 6-gauge screws. Yeah, I want to install these 6-gauge screws, and they'll go where these glicos are, like right there, for instance. Obviously the hole's not quite big enough yet, but that's what that'll look like. I think it looks fairly smart. I'll put it on the aeroplane in a minute and we'll have a look how it looks. The problem is I've got the screws, I've got the washers, I don't have the nuts for them. So I have to get some 6-gauge nuts. No need to buy them from Spruce, I'll just buy them locally. Locally as in my big town, not my little town that I live in, but yeah, so that's the only thing between me and true happiness now. There's a couple of maybe about a dozen nuts. But anyway, that's what we've been working on. Apart from that, still trying to make Rosie's aeroplane more beautiful, which it is, and it's functioning really, really well. I just gave it a wash a few minutes ago, so it's fabulous. All right, let's. I'll get you over here and we'll set that cowl on and see how. We want to go right about there, pretty close. Pretty close to where we want to go. This side, yep, this side's similar. I can put a couple of bolts in, just for the sheer hell of it. Right, where are we? Can you see there very well? Not really. Oh, they look good. They look good. Let's move a bit closer here. Yep, that's fairly much exactly what I had in mind. The other one's still got the plastic on it, the left-hand one here. It may come off, it may not, I don't know. Let's have a look. There we go, there it is there, there's the plastic. Yeah. Now, I've got a couple of choices. I can either put a couple of pieces of 2-inch GAT tube onto the back of that and direct it over towards the carby, or I can just leave it the way it is. I'll put the screws in, of course. I'll probably do the scat tube thing, but whether I stick with it or not's another story. But that's it, that's that done. Now back to, I've got 2 ways to go now. I can either install that gap, the gap seal between the 2 upper wings, which that's ready to install now. Or I can continue putting the stickers on, which there's still another half a dozen or more stickers to go. So it's Thursday. The sticker man has to remake some stickers for me, so I don't want to go putting pressure on him to try and make them before the weekend. So I might just leave the stickers for now and work on them on the weekend. So yeah, let's see about putting that that gap seal on. Well, there's the gap seal in place. It has the rubber edging now. It just needs to be screwed on. And I'll start with the 3 screws across the back here, wherever the back is. This piece attaches up to there, and then I can put the other screws in as required. But no, it looks pretty smart with the rubber edging as well. I don't know if you can see it real well, but let's have a bit of a walkies. Don't know if you can probably, yeah, you might be able to see it from there. Looks pretty reasonable. From the top, well, that's not, from the top it looks pretty good as well. Fits in between the fuel arc. So I'll try and describe it. When you're sitting about where the camera is now and you look up, you can't see very much. See these 2 slots, this vertical slot and this vertical slot, they're sort of lined up with the fuel level gauges. So if we power the aeroplane up, which is that one, there we go, and we turn on the lighting, which is that one, you can probably, if there was fuel level to be seen, you'd be able to see the fuel level in those 2 tubes. Yeah, I can't see it. The level's probably above both of those tubes right at the moment because I filled the aeroplane up the other day and I haven't been running it, so yeah, you won't see a level, but there's the level has been marked on the rib. You can't see that very well either. Oh, maybe you can. There it is there. And the same on this one. I can't get around to that one. But yeah, so I'll put those screws in and that'll be another job out of the way. Well, I've got it up there. It hasn't got all the screws in it yet, but I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, that's what the day looks like outside. It's sort of came over cloudy, looks pretty reasonable right now. Okay, we're sitting in the pilot seat and we look up and there's that intersect fairing, or where the 2 wings intersect. These screws still have to be done up properly yet, and we've still got to fit a few more screws there and there down the end there, but this is what it's going to look like. Now, if we come down here, dun 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 dun. I still haven't put all the labels on yet. Matter of fact, this is one of the labels that needs to be remade. It's like about this high. It won't fit anywhere. But that's the master switch. So we'll flick the master switch on. And if we come, they're the 2 ignition switches. If we come down further, we've got the boost pump, the radio, and lighting. Yeah, what the hell does lighting mean? Let's turn it on and have a look. I'll turn it on now. There we are. It looks blue because it's shining through those blue fuel tubes. They are actually, they're plastic tubes, but they're fuel carrying tubes, and they'll give us the level indication that you should be able to see while you're flying along. It's not going to be very accurate. I'm sure if you notice that the fuel's getting down to that level when you're flying along, I'm pretty sure it'll get your undivided attention, especially if you've got a long way to go to get home. But anyway, that's what it looks like, and that's what I'm working on currently. And of course, back out of it, we do the opposite. Turn the lighting off. This is the voltmeter here, 12.2 volts in the battery right now. And you've seen the panel before. The charge warning light and the oil pressure light. But we turn the master off and they go off as well. Then you can't see a thing up there. Yeah, so you really need to keep track of your time as well. You will know that the aeroplane uses, X amount of litres per hour, and you've been flying for however long. It should have used this many litres, and I know I had this many litres when I started off. So, yeah, you need to work it out. You need to carry. Well, actually, I won't show you now because I don't have access to one, but I do carry a Chinograph pencil, and I do keep on the RV as well, and on the other Renegade, I keep track here. I write things in in that sort of area. I guess I can write here as well, and just rub it off. I use a Chinograph pencil, which is basically a crayon with a wood like a pencil has, and yeah, it's a wax type pencil, and I use that. I don't have one made for this aeroplane yet. I don't have a holder for one. I will. Matter of fact, I'll order that tonight on the internet, and get a couple of Chinograph pencils. But anyway, that's it for the day. I'll continue on, put those screws in. It's a little bit. It was a fairly tight fit before, but now that I've got the rubber on the outside, the tight fit has become extremely tight. So might have to ease some of these holes a little bit so that they screw in a lot better. But anyway, that's what I'm about to do. You don't need to see that. I'm boring enough as it is without looking at something really boring. But anyway, have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon. Well, here's something that's one step closer. This is a piece of stainless steel that I've had engraved, and its task and function, I'll wind you up a bit, will be to go here on the instrument. Okay, this is going to go on the instrument panel there somewhere like that. The Civil Aviation Authority have dropped the necessity to add this, but I actually think it's a good idea. Maybe it'll go here somewhere. If nothing else, it reminds you which aeroplane you're flying, especially if you've got several. Yeah, so that you know what call sign to give. But it'll go there, maybe up here, maybe on the side here. No, probably on the instrument panel somewhere, looking forward, something like that maybe. I'll work that out later on, but yeah, like I say, Civil Aviation have dropped the requirement for this. It's printed on a piece of stainless steel, and should the the absolute worst happen and the aeroplane catch a light, you've at least got this. You've also got the actual data plate for the aeroplane as well, but this is This is, I think this is useful, and it's going on there. Whether it goes on with some Celastic or a couple of screws or whatever, I'll work that out at the time. But it will be going on the aeroplane. Now, something I briefly mentioned yesterday or earlier, which I now can't find, of course. Right. This is the other thing I mentioned. If you can read that, it's called a Chinograph pencil. Americans call it a grease pencil. It's sort of almost like a crayon. It's but it'll write on anything. It'll write on perspex. It'll write on glass, and it'll write on metal. Now, obviously, white coloured pencil on a light coloured background is not gonna go too well. But this would, in fact, write on the instrument panel. If we find a piece of orange here somewhere, like there, yeah, we could write, I don't know, the details of what other airplanes are flying in the area, so that you can remember their details to call them up. But that'll be, I'll get a couple of these in well, I could probably use the white one on the orange instrument panel. But they come in some various primary colours, or black and white plus a few primaries, green and blue and probably red. You're not going to see it from there. I'll say it again, I'm not overly happy with this camera. I haven't sussed it out yet. But yeah, so you can write details on the instrument panel and then rub them off again, and away you go. And I use these a lot. Each of the aeroplanes has one of these in it, and this aeroplane, before it flies, will have one of these in it as well, probably this one. But anyway, that was just something I mentioned earlier in the video, and I thought I'd show you now. That's just me. You do whatever floats your boat. I'm going to sit in the aeroplane, I think, with some acetone and put the last few decals on. So that's me for the afternoon. It's a bit of a windy afternoon. I was going to go for a fly. I prepared the RV6 to go for a fly, and then I took a look outside and thought, no, hang on, I'm not going to go. There's no point. I'm just going to get bounced around all over the place, and yeah, so I gave the idea away. So I can sit in here and work away and hopefully get this video out to you tonight. It's Friday night here in sunny downtown Temora, and I usually like to put the videos out on a Friday night so you can wake up on Saturday morning and watch it. All right, that's it for now. See you soon. All right. I've got all of the decals that I've got have been installed. All the ones I'm going to install anyway. I've got the others, but I'm not happy with them. I'm going to have to get them remade next week. There's four. I think only four that I wasn't happy with. I've just about settled on where this is going to go, which will be right over here underneath the tacho and the VSI, somewhere in that vicinity. I want to keep this piece of real estate vacant so that I can write on it. And yeah, this will be glued on for starters, and I can actually get some screws in behind the panel if it's down near the bottom. So that was the last bit I'm wanting to do for today. I've still got to complete putting the fairing on, that intersect fairing between the two wings, the two upper wings. I've got a plan, so that's usually the hardest bit for me, is to come up with a plan. Once I've got a plan, it's pretty straightforward after that. But that's it. You know the rules. Try and get your feet off the ground if you can. I almost did today, but I chickened out when it got windy. It's probably, I don't know, 25 knots or something out there right now, maybe a little more. No big deal, I can fly if I want to, but it's just not comfortable. You get bounced around and hammered all over the place. So that's it. You enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch up with you next week. Hopefully we've made a bit more progress next week. Bye now.